What is going on, everyone? I'm Nux Pro, and today we're going to talk about one of the game modes for zombies in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and that is Transit. Transit's one of the three game modes we know of right now. The others are Survival and Grief. Now, I think the way Transit's going to work, it's obviously a gigantic zombie map, and people are saying that it's going to be the story mode or the campaign. I don't think there's going to be a story or a campaign. I think Transit itself is just a zombie map. So when you go into zombies in the main menu or whatever, I'll say Transit, Survival, Grief. You pick Transit, it might say solo or multiplayer or something. And you either do Transit solo by yourself or you do it with three friends. And you start off like a normal zombie round. I don't think there's going to be rounds per se. There might, but I think it's just going to be a giant zombie map that you can free roam, and there's going to be zombies everywhere. So think of a game like Left 4 Dead 2, where there are missions and a story to complete, except there's a bunch of zombies trying to attack you. Now, I don't think Transit is going to be like a campaign. I think it is going to be a big zombie map. We know that, and you can free roam and do whatever you want. There's going to be zombies everywhere attacking you. But I think there's going to be, we're assuming the characters in the trailer, they look like normal, average Joe people. So I'm assuming they're survivors from the blast or whatever happened on Moon. So I think it's going to be like a type of Borderlands 2 type deal where you can find survivors, meet people, and they might have tasks and missions for you to do on the side, and that somehow is going to be intertwined with a bigger picture. Because when the zombie achievement list was leaked, we have the Tower of Babel, which seems like it's the highest gamer score you can get, so we're assuming it's the big Easter egg, and it's going to be the main objective. Now, whether that's people are speculating that that's building a radio tower to communicate with somebody, and it also has some religious tie-ins that with the Tower of Babel, or the Tower of Babel, I should say, in the religious sense, is a story in the Bible that humans on Earth were trying to build a tower so they could be seen as great as God. Now, what does that have to do with zombies? Probably absolutely nothing. But it does go on in the story to say that God eventually did come down, so I do think that means that the characters are gonna... Remember, the characters are still on the moon as the story left off in Black Ops 1. I think that means the characters are gonna return. Now, do you think that this big story, this big zombie story that Treyarch developed, do you think that we're not going to have appearance by the original main characters? There's no way. They have to come back, and maybe they are already back. Maybe we will meet them throughout Transit, which is another part I'm going to talk about in a second. But maybe that means Dr. Maxis is going to come down, or maybe, I don't know, some whole new thing that we don't even know about. And I think that the characters is a safe bet to assume that they're going to come down. But, I mean, who knows what really is going to happen. But I think that's a good guess. A lot of times with the zombie stuff, people think of this like crazy outside the wall stuff, and it's usually the simple stuff that ends up being true in regards to the zombie story. So I think that Easter egg is going to be bringing the characters back, and I think the characters and maybe these new survivors that are on the Earth might team up in the later DLC to fight Richtofen and the zombies or whatever threat is out there. But that all remains to be seen, because we don't know how that's going to integrate with survival mode. Is survival mode just going to be regular zombies, or is it going to be Easter eggs involved with it? But more about Transit, the thing about it that I don't think it's going to be campaign necessarily is because there is a power switch. We see that in the achievements. There has to be a power switch that needs to be turned on. There's also perk machines, which makes me think that it's going to be like a regular zombie map. It obviously isn't. It's on a larger scale, so it questions, will there be rounds? I mean, what happens when everybody dies? Are you done? Say you've completed so much of an Easter egg, like, is that it? Like, you all die and that's it? Are you going to be able to save your game? Now, say you get really far in an Easter egg, and if this is a really big map, and there's a lot of towns or places to go on the bus and stuff, and you can upgrade your bus and stuff, that's going to be a really long play session. So, are you going to be able to save your game? I hope so. And then there's like, if you save your game with other people and try to come back with other people, that's why I feel like it's so complex. This is what I ultimately think it's going to be. I think it's a big zombie map, but I do not think it is as big as people think. Like, some people think it's going to be like Skyrim or like Borderlands. Like, those are big places, and they need loading screens to get to other places. That's why I think if the map is that big, and there's different towns and different places, each time you go to a town or a place or whatever, there's going to be a loading screen. There has to be, because there's no way they can make a map that big on the PlayStation or the Xbox. And I think it'll go along the same lines as Borderlands 2 and Skyrim, where if you want to get to other parts of the world, there's a loading screen, you move on to the next part. Now, this leads me to believe that the map is going to be big. There's no doubt about it, but it's not going to be that big. I don't think it's going to be big enough where there's going to be loading screens and stuff. I think it's just going to be a big zombie map on a larger scale, and you just play through it, and you have to complete an Easter egg. Now, I don't think it's going to be like a campaign, like you have like a save point and like set areas you gotta go to. I think it's just a giant zombie map. You can pretty much do whatever you want, get your perks, turn the power on, and you have to complete the Easter egg without dying. Now, it could be difficult, but there seems like there's going to be a lot of added stuff. At the end of the trailer, there's that big bomb-looking thing. There might be new weapons. The bus might be a great advantage to have against the zombies. So, I really don't know, but I do not think it's going to be as big as people think it's going to be. And I think it's just going to be a normal zombie map with an Easter egg to solve, and maybe a few people here and there to do some side missions, but that's what I think at least. I don't think it can be a big zombie map with a campaign component in it. I think it's either got to be zombie map with a Easter egg and, playtime killing zombies, and if you die, it's over, or it's going to be a campaign story. I don't think it can be like both, a campaign inside a zombie map. That's what I think. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I thank you for watching the video. I know I was all over the place, but I'm just excited for Black Ops 2 Zombies. Shoot straight.